Welcome back to another episode of Spider-Man's Tangled WebShow. I'm Jonathan, webmaster of SpiderManFanRave.com. SpiderManFanRave.com. Go on over there. We got some pretty cool Spider-Man news, articles, reviews, editorials, anything you want you can find over there. We pride ourselves in celebrating our favorite character, always being open to positive, but we do encourage civil debate. Anything you want to talk about, you can first Spider-Man. Go on over there. Very nice community, very, very good place to be. Tonight I'm being joined by James. What's going on, James?
Not much. I had a cold all this week, but really bad cold, in fact. But I'm doing a lot better. We're already setting up our final for Culinary One, and it's going to be exciting. We're going to be making vegetables. Our soup is going to be vegetable soup. Our bread's going to be a baguette. Our salad is going to be asparagus with fresh mozzarella cheese sprinkled on the top. And our main dish is going to be a pot roast with vegetable, squash, and corn and potatoes, and some grilled mushrooms. And for dessert, we're going to be giving out cupcakes. So that's going to be our final. And I felt like, just bragging about it because it's really cool. I actually sound like a chef and be able to say, what's on our menu is this. So that's awesome.
Yes.
So I had that going on. Yeah, it was actually a pretty easy day at Culinary One because we had a menu plan and we had a guy come in and talk to us. Pretty awesome guy. He already told us we get 10% off on everything, including a lease for a building if we start our own restaurant. So that's badass. So yeah, I got a guy. Kind of like Barney when he says, I have a guy for that. Literally for cooking, I have a guy now for that. When it comes to equipment, helping me get a lease, all that stuff, I have a guy now for that. That's badass.
It's not about what you can do, it's about who you know.
Pretty much every group coming up with your menu in 5 minutes and then goofing off in the library. After that, pretty much I had a normal week just recovering from a cold, and I got a new TV, which is pretty badass. That's why it's awesome to have a job at Amazon, people. You get paid like $12, $13 an hour. You can afford nice shit. Don't rob me now.
Yes, because now that James has just broadcasted that all over the internet, there will be people Googling his house. All right. What have I been up to this week? It's been a long week here in Northeast Ohio. But I got to say, it was 75 degrees yesterday. In early November, we're not doing too bad. What have I been up to this week? I've been doing a ton of. I've gotten behind on some stuff, so this week was mainly catch-up week for me. I got some podcasts edited for the iTunes feed. So if you go on our iTunes feed, you will find up to episode number 69 on there at the time of this broadcast.
69.
Thank you, James, for making that sexual. Kids, if you don't know what that means, don't Google it. Just don't do it. If you're under 18.
Jan's not on the episode, so this is like the above 18 episode. I can make those jokes. I don't care.
Yeah, we can make those jokes because we don't have a minor on this show. So we've been doing that in total with all the episodes we've done. This is episode number 71. This is only our 28th YouTube broadcast, but it is number 71 in total with all the episodes we've done. So we've got most of our episodes up on iTunes at this point. I do plan to spend a good portion of tomorrow editing as well, while my folks are away doing furniture shopping and stuff like that. So I'll probably have a bit of free time to myself, so I'll be switching off between practicing my singing and editing podcasts. So if you can't tell, I'll probably be pretty damn sick of my own voice by the end of the day. And really, there's nothing really else that's happened to me this week. So the first thing we're going to talk about with Spider-Man on this show is obviously the biggest news story of the week. Holy crap, Tom Holland got a haircut. James, did you see Tom Holland? I mean, he's looking good. Tommy got a haircut, boy.
Yeah, I've been busy all week recovering from a cold, work, and planning a menu for my final. So I don't give a crap if he got a haircut or not.
We're doing this segment a bit sarcastically because anyone who follows me on Twitter at SpideyFanRave, for those of you who may not, anybody who follows me on Twitter knows that I was just flabbergasted by the fact that literally every major news site, all the way to like all the way to the top entertainment websites were reporting that Tom Holland got a haircut, and I was just thinking, what is happening? I wasn't really angry. I was just like, I was laughing my butt off because yes, okay, it's exciting that Tom, I guess, but I don't think it's that worthy of news. I'm excited for Tom Holland to become Spider-Man, but
a haircut.
But he got a haircut, James. And it may or may not resemble Ultimate Peter Parker from the cartoon. Wow, we're going 5 miles to make this look like an actually reasonable news story. Oh my gosh.
Filming's done. What if he got a haircut after filming?
Oh, he's not done yet. Civil War is done, but the Spider-Man movie's not even started yet. But man, I was laughing my butt off when I saw that this week. I absolutely could not believe that Tom Holland's haircut was worthy enough of being front page on every major, if not comic book news site, then some other like higher up entertainment news sites. How is that even worthy of anything? Oh man.
Okay, I see it now, and yeah, it does look like Ultimate Peter's haircut. But I still will answer, who cares?
Who gives a shit? Who cares? It's the haircut.
It looks like when you read the old Ultimate Spider-Man. Okay, I can see it. It's the comic Ultimate Spider-Man haircut. Okay, I get it. But who cares? Seriously.
Who cares, people? Oh, man. You know there's going to be someone who comments on this saying, well, evidently you do. You're on a podcast bitching about it. And to be honest, good sir or ma'am, you are probably not wrong to say that. All right, but in all seriousness, we will turn to our...
Toby kind of had that whole kind of classic Ramita Dicko haircut going on in the Raimi trilogy, slightly, kind of. I didn't see nobody bitching about, oh my God, it looks just like Ditko. No, because nobody gave a shit.
Garfield had the haircut that he did, and no one cared.
Actually, yeah, they did. He looks emo after Spider-Man 3. Yeah. Andrew Garfield. He's the emo one.
Yep. I really think that's all we need to say. I really think that's all we need to say on that matter. But we will turn to the main topic of discussion for the evening, and that is Amazing Spider-Man Volume 4, Number 3 came out this past week. They've been shipping these comics out on a pretty consistent schedule. We've gotten them on a bi-weekly basis so far. I'm not sure if that's going to continue. I know that this is the only main book that we're getting this month, but I know we are getting the .1 issue coming up here in a while. So I'm not sure.
I think they said Amazing is going to be bi-weekly, like for eternity. Not forever, but you know what I mean. Though it's going to be that way for at least a while.
Yeah, that'd be nice to have. I like having Amazing Spider-Man every 2 weeks. So we'll run down the creative team of Amazing Spider-Man Volume 4, Number 3 here. We got Dan Slott, writer, Giuseppe Kim, Smith, inker, Marte Garcia, colorist, Alex Ross, cover artist, VC's Chris Eliopoulos, lettering. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that name. Assistant editor Devin Lewis, editor Nick Lowe. As I run down the recap here, the Zodiac is trying to, I guess, get a horoscope from his Gemini, and they're saying, take bold risks today, and you will be rewarded. And if I sit back and do nothing, the path of an action leads to, Sarah, cut it out. Stop trying to sound like a fortune cookie. Straight up, what happens? If I don't move on this now, S.H.I.E.L.D. wins. Oh, because we can't let Samuel L. Jackson win this, so yeah, let's move. Cannon fodder will do. Sacrifices must be made, right? You heard her today. If we want results, we can't care about the risks. So meanwhile, Peter Parker has in New York City, and who's there? Well, it's none other than the Fact Channel's very own. It's been a while since we've seen good old JJJ in the ASM books. Oh, but he comes up.
Fact Channel,
the man who's been like a father.
The Fact Channel, aka Marvel's not so settled shot at Fox News.
No comment there. Not going to touch that one.
Hey,
the man who's been
I don't like Fox News.
Father to the
next guy. So Jonah fits perfectly.
Yeah. The man has been like a father to the boy. It's fair to say I've taught him everything he knows. Now look at him, head of Parker Industries, and I couldn't be prouder. Isn't that right, Petey? Sure, Jonah, and best of all, he's got that no good spider loser on a leash. Yes, because that's exactly what J. Jonah Jameson would think about. That's actually pretty in character for him. That's not what tonight's about. I'm here to let everyone know that our New York offices are up and running at our new location. Light her up. Ladies and gentlemen, the Baxter Building is under new management. Now, I just want to take a moment. For the audio listener, if you're not listening to it on iTunes, I'm looking at the fourth page, not counting the ads. This splash page right here of Peter Parker standing in front of the Parker Industries owned Baxter Building. Everyone is jumping on this page right here, saying that, oh my gosh, this proves that Peter Parker's like Tony Stark now. You know why? Because that's the pose that Tony Stark when he was demonstrating the Jericho missile in the first Iron Man movie.
It is, John.
Seriously?
It is the same.
But seriously. But I'm going to say this right now.
That's on purpose, though. I think that it's on purpose when I say that. I think they want you to see all these Iron Man isms in Spider-Man. I think this is all on purpose. This is not in a whole lazy we're ripping off. This is on purpose. We want you to see that, and your first thought to be, oh my God, that's the pose that Tony had in Iron Man 1.
Okay, you want me to give my honest opinion on that? I think that is people fishing for issues. I never would have thought of that in a million years.
I'm not saying it's an issue. I'm saying that's Marvel's way of thinking. Controversy creates cash. So anything they can do that they know will get people to start thinking, oh my God, they're ripping off Iron Man, they're going to do to poke that berry. You know what I mean?
All right. So Johnny Storm is watching this on the TV in a bar, and he's not too happy about it, to say the least. He's pretty pissed off. So what does Johnny Storm do? Well, he's pretty inflamed about it. He decides to flame on and head over to the Baxter Building. And what is Peter Parker's response? To trap him in a plexiglass cage, of course, because remember, Amazing Spider-Man #1. No, not the recent Amazing Spider-Man #1. That one from 1963. The one of 4 Amazing Spider-Man #1s we've had. What does Peter Parker do? He traps him in a plexiglass case, because that's what they did in the very first issue of Amazing Spider-Man, when Peter Parker decided to infiltrate the Baxter Building. So Peter and Johnny get in a little bit of a kerfuffle, I guess. I don't even know if I'm using that term correctly. They get in a bit of a fight, and so Peter says, "Look, Johnny, maybe I can just explain, but first I gotta answer this call from S.H.I.E.L.D. Wait, do you have to take it? Nah, low priority. So, fight. Round 1, fight." Meanwhile, Nick Fury and Mockingbird are on the S.H.I.E.L.D. helicarrier. They're trying to coordinate this global strike against the Zodiac, but all of a sudden, the lights go out, the helicarrier falls to the sea, one more turbine goes down, and we drop. And, it turns out they're attacked by the Zodiac henchmen. And so they're saying, yeah, and if that loser is him, the family reunion can wait. As of right now, we are at war. Yeah, that's like right out of the first Avengers movie. So after Peter Parker cries uncle in the middle of the fight, and I'm not kidding you, he literally cries uncle. He says he's waving the white web. He's like, by the look of it, we've done over 100,000 in damages. Fighting in the Baxter Building was a lot more fun when it wasn't my stuff. Because, that's totally something Peter Parker would be concerned with, Not civilian casualties, not property damage. I just don't want my stuff to get screwed up. Okay.
But it makes sense. It's like in real life, John. If you're at a party, what are you more worried about? If it's your own house and the shit are getting trashed, or if it's not your house and the stuff's getting trashed, right? Which is the one you got to stay home and clean up, and which is the one you can leave at the end of the night? And that's kind of like what Peter's saying here. I don't have any really problems with that line.
All right. I guess I'm just being nitpicky. All right, I'll win. But Peter decides to say, come on, I'll give you the grand tour. Tour? I used to live here, like, forever. Here, we'll just pop into the head office and, oh, yeah, next week works for me, too. I'll clear a space. I'll you back. People just walked in. Wait, I thought this was Peter Parker. It is. I just run the place while Pete's out of town. Hi, I'm the Terry Osborn. I go by Harry Lyman now. Had it legally changed to my mom's maiden name because Norman Osborn's kid. Because of that. Yes. So Harry Osborn, in his triumphant return to the Amazing Spider-Man books for the first time in approximately 3 years, and he's now officially Harry Lyman, and he's running the Parker Industries division, or the New York division of Parker Industries, excuse me.
When you're in run for your life, I'm going to change my last name and go work for the biggest fucking company in New York City now.
Yeah, we'll get to that when we get to the review section. We'll talk about that. So Peter takes Johnny around the building, and he shows him the vehicle bay. And Johnny finds out that Peter built a new Spider-Mobile without me. Sort of. That's not going to be a thing, is it? And so that kind of pisses Johnny Storm off even more. And he crashes Spider-Man through a wall. I'm sorry. I just got to stop because as I'm recapping this issue and I'm saying this plot out loud, it's just becoming so surreal.
You know what the sad thing is, John? Have you ever read that Strange Tales annual with the two of them? This isn't even the worst Johnny Spider-Man moment of all time. You got that one where it's literally I'm gonna turn my webbing into ice so that way snow will defeat you because that's how science works according to Stan Lee.
I'm pretty sure science is a little bit more complicated than that. I'm not a scientist, but
in the grand traditions of what the fuck bad plots in a Johnny Spider-Man storyline, this one I would give it the second place medal. That Strange Tale one, oh boy, is that Strange Tale one real bad. If you don't,
James, I gotta ask,
check it out, people.
James, I gotta ask you, and this is kind of relevant to this issue. How does this compare to Norman Osborn taking Spider-Man to Hollywood to beat him over the head with a rock?
The Strange Tale one, or the issue? This issue.
This issue. Oh hell, let's just go with both.
Well, the Strange Tale one, it's the same kind of thing, the same era. It's the 60s Stan Lee cheese. So there you go. This one is just a big comic full of boring and what the fucks. So I would still rather read Stan Lee First Green Goblin issue 14 over this any day if I was given the choice in the two issues.
Oh man. Oh my gosh. How do I even finish this? Okay. You know, I didn't hate this issue before I read it, and I don't hate it. To be honest, I don't hate this issue, but I'm recapping it, and it's just like I can't believe these words are coming out of my mouth. So the Zodiac are fighting Samuel L. Jackson and Mockingbird on the Shield helicarrier. The Zodiac goes in there to free Leo, who Spider-Man fought in the most recent ASM #1. But instead of freeing him, he actually takes him out because it doesn't matter that you never talked. All that matters is you failed. You failed your mission. You failed to take your own life. You forced me to finish the job. So they retreat. Meanwhile, Clayton Cole intervenes on the fight between Spider-Man and the Human Torch. And James and my memories of ASM Volume 3, number 18, quickly come rushing back up. So Spider-Man decides to take a little bit of sabbatical. You won't listen to the guy in tights. How about the guy who wears the pants around here? All right, let's ignore that Peter Parker just said that. Clayton, Mr. Parker, what did I say would happen if I ever saw you using your Clash tech again? Playing in the house, young man. I was only trying to... I'm sorry, boss. Please don't fire me. This was the last time, I promise. It's okay. No need to pack your things. But we will talk about this, Clayton. We will talk about it. Yeah, the same way you talked to Johnny, and then she literally went back and made it 10 times worse.
Hey, John, what's that? I hear in the distance. Is that Clash turning back to a life of crime I can hear in the distance? Yeah, because it's obviously going to happen now.
All right, so Peter takes Johnny to the front of the building. See, if you'd walked into the lobby, it would have saved us a lot of hassle. What do you think? I like it a lot. And it's at that moment that he sees that Peter has constructed a sculpture of the Fantastic Four. Well, actually, no, I'm sorry. I'm completely wrong on that. He commissioned it from Alicia Masters. I'm sorry. I was completely wrong on that. Yes, he bought a sculpture of the Fantastic Four family, and he's placed it right in the lobby so that everyone knows the Baxter Building will always be home to the Fantastic Four. Everyone was trying to buy this place. Alchemax, Roxxon, Hammer, and I outbid them all, so I could hold on to it until the day the FF are back. And that day will come, Johnny. Until it does, I'm glad it's staying with family. Yes, so Peter, Johnny, and Harry all sit down for a few drinks. And Peter manages to convince Johnny to come along with him to take down the Zodiac. Meanwhile, in Africa, the African nation of Nadua, evidently this is a made-up African nation according to the internet. Foreigners do not understand my country. Peace and prosperity only exist here because power is kept in the correct hands. My hands. Now this American company, Parker, has come to Nadua, intent on providing free power to my people. No good will come of this. But what can I do? Everyone knows Parker makes weapons for S.H.I.E.L.D. My men and their guns are no match for those, but your weapons are, aren't they? They most definitely are, General. Then I have come to the right man. It will be a pleasure doing business with you, Mr. Osborne. Dun, dun, dun. To be continued in the next issue. Maybe. Who knows? I'm going to turn it over to James because I just want to hear James's thought on this issue first because, one, because I need to get a sip of water because my mouth's getting dry. But two, James, what are you thinking of Amazing Spider-Man Volume 4, Number 3 after that recap? I swear I can't believe I just had to do that.
If you're listening to the podcast feed, I'm going to tell you right now what I'm doing. I'm face palming. This issue was clearly Dan Slott's love letter to Strange Tales Annual Number 2. Because it's like, how do we do a modern day what the fuck Johnny Storm and Spider-Man storyline in the Baxter Building? There's no it's kind of filler besides like a little bit we're moving on to the Green Goblin. It's kind of like issue 2 was kind of filler where it felt like it's not really carrying on to what happened in issue 1. The Johnny Storm thing was obvious because I'll say I was one of those fans that was ready to be pitchforks with the whole why would Peter, him being all his history of the FF, why would he capitalize on their death or whatever by buying their building and turning it into his building? But then by saying that he did it to keep it out of every other evil organization in New York's hands, I can see him doing that. Because he wants to make sure it stays in the hero community in some way, shape, or form. So I'm okay. I'm fine with that. So you got that going on. The statue kind of weirds me out because Valerie's looks older and taller than Franklin, who was born about 4 decades before her, but whatever. And you got the line where I still stand with some people. That was a shot at Fox about Peter talking about getting the rights to the Baxter Building and then one day the Fantastic Four will return. I just think that is a shot at Fox and it's hilarious and I actually kind of applaud them for that. Then you get the Harry thing, which I know John's going to want to talk about more when he gets to his recap. But literally, he joined the witness protection to protect this kid. Only to move back to New York, work for Peter Parker's company, and change his last name. And be the head honcho of the biggest company right now in the world.
I'm pretty sure that's not how the gosh damn witness protection agency works.
I mean, his dad is still out there. They know the Goblin got away after Goblination. For all they know, he's still in New York City. Why the fuck would Peter hire Harry after that?
Because Peter believes in second chances. Didn't you read the comic, James?
That's not a second chance. That's protecting your friend from Osborn. He's still out there. Granted, we know he's in Africa, but for all Peter knows, Osborn could be plotting his next attack against Peter and Spider-Man. See Harry in there and kill Harry. And then it'll be all my fault. Well, yeah, it would be your fault because you hired your friend who's in witness protection. So you got that. You got the Clash thing. Like I said, that's clearly setting up him being a supervillain again. You got, or again, I guess you could say again because he was kind of a villain in what the fuck was it called? Learning to Crawl. But he wasn't really. He was more just a teenager who was kind of jealous of Spider-Man. So I wouldn't really call that, supervillain, but whatever. You got that. You got pretty much confirming that Norman was the mystery man at the end of issue 2, which I think everybody called. So it was not even a big deal. You could have just said it there.
Except me, I didn't call it.
Well, because you wanted to be Mr. Opposite. It wasn't because you didn't think about it. It was more of a just, I don't think that's what they're going to do.
Yeah.
So you have that. It's just a really mad issue. It's filler, but it has all this weird what the fuck moments with Harry and just the Harry thing. I'm sorry, I can't get over that still. I just can't figure out. You couldn't even think of anything to be logical for his return, except for changing his last name to his mother's maiden name. Which, when the person you're in protection is your own damn father who was married to that woman, guess what? That name's not going to hide you.
Oh gosh.
But yeah, like, what can I say? This is my first issue of the new volume. I have to give a thumbs down. It's just, no, it's either boring, filler, wants put me to sleep, nothing happens, or what the fuck things that are just like, oh my god, if this is the 60s, I'll let it pass, but this is 2015. So it's this.
All right, James gives a thumbs down. I'll go into my review of the issue because just damn. I did not hate this comic, and like I said, I still don't hate this comic, but wow, it's just like literally my opinion dropped while I was giving that recap. I'll start off with some things I like. I like seeing Jonah again. I thought Jonah was pretty in character. I like that Jonah is working for faux Fox News. Even though it's technically not Fox News, everyone knows what it is. Yeah, I like seeing that. I like seeing that. I thought Jonah was in character. The beginning of the Peter Johnny fight. All right, the Peter and Johnny fight makes sense to me at the beginning. Johnny Storm is on edge because the Fantastic Four are gone, and he's pissed off about it. And he hears that Peter Parker has acquired the building, and he's hearing about that on the news. It's like when you're friends with someone and you hear about what they're you hear about some major thing in their life, via Facebook or something. That's not cool. But it's kind of a similar situation here. I can kind of see that with Johnny Storm. I could see why he'd be a little bit hot-headed and have be in a bit of a bad mood. Even though we technically still don't know what happened because Secret Wars is still technically not over. Even though we all really know how it ends now. So yeah, I can understand that. And overall, I do think the artwork in this book is very good. I think Cam McCauley Smith and Gracia do a great job with the artwork once again. And overall, I like the stuff with the statue at the end. That is the stuff I do like in terms of the plot here and everything in the comic. Now, here's what I have a problem with. What is going on with Harry? It's just like, I'm pretty sure the witness protection program does not work like that. And I am pretty sure that Peter Parker would not be so stupid as to think, oh, I can take Harry back. He legally changed his last name. Everything's good now. We're not going to mention the fact that, I hadn't even thought of it like this, but like James said, his mother's maiden name, his father was married to that woman. That's not going to work. Oh my gosh.
He's literally going to look at, let's just say he wants to text Spider-Man at Parker Industry. You know this is going to fucking happen now. He's going to see who's running the New York branch. Harry, whatever the fuck the last name was. And he's going to be going,
Lyman.
So Harry's working there. Great. And then he wants to blow up the building because Harry's in there. You know that's going to happen now.
It's just like, no. It doesn't work. And, I'm usually not this guy. I'm usually not the guy who says, well, it doesn't work like this in the real world, therefore it can't be this way in the comic book. I'm usually a pretty lenient, easygoing guy. It's not that hard to please me with the comic book or really any sort of entertainment. But I was just like, what? That literally doesn't make any sense. And we have a guy who can literally spontaneously combust into fire in this comic, and we have a guy who can crawl on walls and spin webs. And that's the part that doesn't make any sense. Wow. Okay. Man, I feel like James. I just went on a rant there. What?
Here, let me join you. Oh my God, that Harry thing is so stupid.
Oh my gosh!
Why did you hire him? Like, it's not a shot at Harry. It's not. If Harry was not, well, for one thing, why the hell did Peter hire him? If Harry even made the joke about how he wouldn't hire Peter Parker back when we reviewed New Ways to Die, but that's another different story. The point is, he's in witness protection. Peter, with his power and function, said, "Harry, for your own good, I'm not going to give you this job. I'm sorry. You can hate me all you want, but I'm doing this to protect you because you're my friend. I care about you. I don't want your dad to come after you."
And then here's another quality moment between Peter, Johnny, and Harry. Peter, so you've hired Clash, one of Spidey's old bad guys, and the guy who was Green Goblin's kid, and a Green Goblin himself. Literally, I apologize for the iTunes listener once again. If you're listening to this audio, you're going to have to go towards the end of the issue. It's right when Peter...
Oh, I forgot about that, God. Thank you for reminding me about the whole... Don't forget Hobgoblin himself. Like, that's something you want to brag about. He killed people.
It's like, what? Why? You're acting like that? Like, literally, go... Audio listener, go back. It's a few pages before the end. Go back to the scene where Peter, Harry, and Johnny are sitting around at a table. Just look at this page right here. Look at Harry. He's being all prideful about the fact that he was the Green Goblin and tried to screw up people's lives. What is happening?
Parents. Peter should be pissed off. He's like, "Don't forget, I made robot parents of you. Gotcha."
Oh, but he doesn't remember he made the robot parents for me. It doesn't count. Oh my. Oh.
I was a Green Goblin. Oh, Harry, you murdered people. That's funny. And the sitcom credits roll.
Oh gosh. And the final thing I have to bring up with this book. As much as I defended the first fight between Peter Parker and Johnny Storm, the fact that Johnny Storm gets so pissed off because Peter built a Spider-Mobile without him.
All right, I'll actually kind of defend that, John, because it's like that too in real life. That a lot of bad things in like a span of a couple months, happen to somebody, and they're like, "Oh, they're doing really good. They're handling it well." And then the slightest inconvenience is what tips them over finally. And that's pretty much what I think happened. I think he's more mad about everything that's happened post Secret Wars than he is about the Spider-Mobile. But that's just something that tipped him over the edge.
Yeah, that is understandable, and I do think that is an interesting way to look at it. All right, James, I'll give you that one. I'll shut up on that one. But wow, okay.
But I will. More of Dan Slott's continuity porn, though. Can I count that as a negative? About the whole, hey, look, remember that trap the Fantastic Four set in the Baxter Building that Spider-Man got caught in? Well, guess what? Now it's the reversal. Ain't I great?
Yeah, to be honest, I kind of rolled my eyes at that moment. I'm just like, really? This is not clever. Come on, comic. This is not good. Oh, man. Oh, I'm usually the positive person around here, but James, I gotta agree with you, man. Thumbs down. Oh man. I gave this, when I reviewed this on the website, I gave it a thumb sideways. I said it was nothing great, nothing terrible. But really, it's just like when I say this out loud, it just sounds so dumb. And to be honest, I feel pretty dumb right now for not realizing it until this podcast.
Just say it again, just to get it out of your system.
Oh gosh. Okay. I can't believe that this. Oh man. to be honest, I'm just flipping back through this book. I will say, Cam McCauley draws Harry very well. I will say that. I'll give another credit to the art team. They're doing some great work on this series, but gosh, not a good comic in my opinion. I don't like this comic, and I don't think James liked this comic either. So I guess this is a little bit of a spontaneous idea, but listeners and viewers, I want to open this up to you guys. If you guys like this issue, or if you didn't like this issue, but mainly I'm looking for positive responses here. If you like this issue, go in the comments section on the YouTube video. Tell us why you like this issue. Give us a few things you liked about it. And it could be anything. It could be the artwork. It could be the story. Anything you liked about this issue that merits it a positive remark in your mind. Go in the comments. Tell us about it. I will personally acknowledge every single one of those responses. Yeah, mainly I'm doing that because I want to try to get a positive opinion for this show.
That's a sad thing is, John, you're not.
Yeah, to be honest, I was thinking, what's going to happen if we get 0 responses?
You're going to feel sad. You think that means we probably have 0 listeners?
No, I'm looking at the view count right now. We do have an audience right now, so I'm happy about that. And it literally just went down right after I said that. We literally just lost a viewer. That's funny.
Was that our one viewer?
Hey, it just went back up again. I'm wondering if they heard me say we have an audience and then one person decided to drop out just because they wanted to do that. That would be funny if that was actually the case.
Comment if you actually did that.
Yeah.
And if that one listener is Jan, ha ha, not funny.
Yeah, Jan, that would not be cool. Dick move, bro.
Yeah.
Dick move.
We know it's you. It's probably not him, but still.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where Jan is tonight. Alrighty, so we both give Amazing Spider-Man Volume 4, Number 3 thumbs down. It just seems so. It does not seem fun to me. It seems so. While I can understand some of the actions here, I like the Jonah scene. I can understand why Johnny Storm's pissed off, but it's just the Spider-Mobile thing. It just seemed dumb to me. I see where James is coming from with it. For whatever reason, it just seems a little bit dumb to me. And then just the Harry thing. The Harry thing is really what takes this thing over for me. It's just that's the straw that breaks it for me. And plus, there's just a few bits in here where Peter Parker is quipping, where once again Peter Parker would not be quipping; he'd actually be serious. But overall, I got to give this a thumbs down. It's not working for me. It's really not. I'm sorry. But James, any other thoughts on Amazing Spider-Man Volume 4, Number 3 before we wrap this review up?
No.
Oh man, he's just like, get it out of here. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Literally, there's nothing else to say though, because I think we covered everything.
All right, so that's gonna do it for our review of ASM Volume 4, Number 3, and that's pretty much also gonna do it for this episode of the podcast because we literally have nothing else planned for tonight. This was it. We knew this was gonna take a while. It actually didn't take as long as I thought it would, but James, I gotta ask, before we wrap this up, do you have any final shout-outs or anything for the listeners before we sign off?
Yeah, I got a few shout-outs. One to the Fine Brothers because, like I said, I got their business card, and now I got people that help me get 10 to 15% off on all my shit now. So shout-out to their company. It's pretty awesome. Because technically, I guess I got sponsored technically because I got a guys now that are gonna help me out when I graduate. Shout out to them, and also shout out to Chocolate Milk because screw you, John. I have chocolate milk.
Yes, before we went on the air, I was telling James, hey, I'm going to be drinking water during this podcast. He's like, haha, joke's on you. I got chocolate milk. Man, literally, I was at Walmart yesterday. I walked past the chocolate milk. It was on sale. I didn't buy any. Now I'm kicking myself for it. Ooh. Now I have this immense craving for chocolate milk. Okay,
John, before midnight tonight, John's going to drive all the way down to that Walmart and get that chocolate milk now.
No, I live down the street from Walgreens. I may just walk over and just buy a little bit of chocolate milk. I need some. I really need some.
Be like,
all right.
Be like ASM1. where Peter's buying chocolate milk when the burglar's robbing the convenience store.
It's 207. It's 207. Yeah, it's 2 cents. We're talking about 2 cents, T-Bone. All right. What? All right, James. Any other shout-outs this week?
Don't know. Don't think I have any. So.
All right, I'll give my shout-outs for this week. Shout-out first off goes to Marvel, Stan Lee, Steve Ditko, Dan Slott, Giuseppe Chemical, all of them. Thank you for Spider-Man. Even if we were not a fan of this particular issue, hey, you know what? I guess it's better than nothing. What other shout-out? Oh, I'll give another shout-out to Invincible Iron Man #2, Brian Bendis, David Marquez. Invincible Iron Man #3, excuse me. Brian Bendis, David Marquez, everyone who worked on that. I enjoyed that comic this week. I'll give a shout out. Oh man, what else do I shout out to? I'll second the shout out to Chocolate Milk. I'll shout out to Dasani purified water because it's what I've been drinking on this podcast. So just so that I don't get us in trouble, I'll give credit where credit is due. And really that's all I've got this week. I don't really have anything else to talk about. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. And we will see, and hopefully we will see you all next week. So take care. Good night. Adios. Au revoir. Auf Wiedersehen. Whatever goodbye message you want to give out. So see you guys later. Thanks very much for tuning in.